to explain what baptism means, what it symbolises. It's a big step for Rick. I mean, I think Rick would say this is something that he's doing, symbolises something that's been there for a long time, and it's only now he's wanting to go public. It's not much more public than this. But basically, baptism has a long history, not just within the Christian faith, but many other religions as well. But Christian baptism is a symbolism of several things. First and foremost, there's a symbolism, an outward expression of the work that God has done and continues to do within our lives. So symbolising the work of God's grace in our lives. There's the obvious comparison, which is easy to draw, is the washing come cleansing nature of baptism and what that symbolises. And I mean, the early church and the Jews grew up with traditions and ritual cleansing and washing literally before they went to the temple and sort of, getting themselves right before God. But this baptism symbolises that clean wash, that washing the dirty stuff away in our lives that Jesus is able to do through his death and his resurrection. And it's also symbolic of the grave. And it's symbolic of identifying with both the death and the resurrection of Christ. So as we baptise someone, I choose to baptise people backwards, which is what we didn't tell Carsten the other day, because he was expecting to go forwards. And he was quite surprised when he went backwards.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of body going upside down when
but it's symbolic of putting somebody into the grave and then being resurrected back into life. So the actual act of baptism is not like waving a magic wand. It's not baptism that makes somebody a Christian. It's not baptism that answers everybody's questions and sorts everything out. It's purely and simple a symbolic act of what has already taken place in somebody's life and a desire to make that public. And it's going to be blooming cold, but when we consider when the first Christians, the first followers of Christ in the first 100 years of the Christian church, when people were baptised publicly, they were basically sticking their head above the parapet and could expect to be martyred for what they believed. So going into a cold ocean is a pretty small price to pay in comparison with that. Baptism is a public declaration, as I said. It was a command of Jesus. Jesus commanded his disciples to be baptised and to baptise others who believed and followed him. And I want to read some verses. They're not actually specifically baptism related, but I want to read these because they're Sandy Beach related.
and
they fit in really well for where we're at.
Okay.
And this is what Jesus said to his mates. I've read them to numerous of you on several occasions, but this is at the end of Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, and he says to his mates, "The words I speak to you are not incidental additions to your life, homeowner improvements to your standard of living. They're foundational words to build a life on. If you work these words into your life, you're like a smart carpenter who built his house on solid rock. Rain poured down, the river flooded, the tornado hit, but nothing moved that house. It was fixed on the rock. But if you just use my words in Bible studies and don't work them into your life, you're like a stupid carpenter who built his house on a sandy beach. When a storm rolled in and the waves came up, it collapsed like a house of cards." Taking the step of baptism and deciding to follow Jesus doesn't give us immunity from the storms of life and life struggles. What Rick is symbolically saying, and what he's standing up to be counted for, is basically he's chosen to build his life and choosing to build his life on an ongoing basis on something substantial, and that is on Christ. And that's the heart of what baptism is about and what it symbolises. So let's bear that thought in mind. We took a long walk through the dark woods in Finland a few weeks ago. We're going to take a rather breezy walk down a sandy beach, but it's a similar walk for Rick. That's what we do. And is there anything you wanted to say?
No, you've pretty much said it all, but I really do see it as coming out, as going public.
Yeah.
And that said it all, really. I mean, a lot of the people around here have given me the courage over the last couple of years to do it, but that is exactly what it is for me. Yeah.
Way
Once or twice.
Right. So we only got the grace one, but I get the kit on.
In front of the children and all.
They're doing it. You're really going to do it. Don't go there. Don't give your day job up.
When it gets up to there,
Look at that, so close to me, come on.
Oh, it's part of it.
yeah,
We're going to hear Sean. Oh, he's got a thing on his back, hasn't he?
Go on, Baz!
He's got a thing on his back, hasn't he? Way down right.
Love you, Baz!
Looks it.
What's that there for?
On the couch, pick up Sean, we can't hear you. Pick up Sean, we can't hear you.
Where's Baz gone?
Don't worry, I'll do that. I don't want to get wet.
I wouldn't want to do that.
I just want to say a prayer for Rick. Heavenly Father, we thank you for Rick and for his family. We thank you for the work of your grace in his life. We thank you for the statement that he wanted to make and he's made today. We thank you for what it all means symbolically, but we thank you for the truth of what it means in his life over all these years. And I pray that you will honour him for the step that he's taken today and will use it to continue to work in his life. May the radical truths of what it is to follow of Jesus rest and be at home deeply in his heart and his family. In Jesus' name, amen.